It's the CalebDMTG show.
I think I'm gonna try out Mason Clark's creativity list. People that have watched a lot of my Modern know that I've played a lot of creativity. And the version that I favor, the version that I tend to favor is the 4-color build with prime times. And the reason I favor that build is because it's very good against control decks. You're just much more threat dense, and then you have main deck to fairies and stuff. That's all gas. But this build has like a much cleaner mana base, right? Like you're just having Steam Vents is the only fetchable. Got all these like nice basic mountains that you can fetch against aggro. And then you have like, you know, more cantrips and burn and such. My main concern with this list is it's not playing that 2-mana fucking cantrip, the one where you like reveal the top 3 cards of your library. I had that card be like really strong for me in some matchups. I was shaving it, but I was still playing like the 4th copy in the board because it was so good against control. I guess Memory Deluge does something similar, and it just gives you like infinite value against your control opponents. So there's definitely changes. If I was gonna like envision this deck, envision just like a straight blue-red creativity list, build it from scratch, run it through a league, it would look a lot different than this, right? But the point of net decking somebody else is to take their ideas, give it a shot, and then potentially like learn from those ideas, see how that plays out. So I'm not going to change anything here. I'm not going to change anything blind. I'm going to at least play a league first. And then we can give her a go. Make tweaks and stuff after, maybe. Take a quick break. I should go to the bathroom. Oh, is this literally your list, Mark Chalice? Well, fucking aim. Or is this? Or are you saying that's the change that you made to somebody else's list? Okay. Sarah's Emissary. Is there a spot where Sarah's Emissary is better than just Archon? I think the main reason to have Emrakul in the sideboard is for mill. I don't think the main reason is because you want to like need to creativity for Emrakul. Maybe against like Tron or something. Strange looking. Is it dang? Is it straight blue red? This is Mason Clark's list. You think Jeskai is the natural evolution of this deck? Well, this isn't. This is a, what's the word? This is bringing it back from the Jeskai version. This is a de-evolution, then, if you will. Because the Jeskai and 4-color versions are well known and established. But there are strengths to playing this version. Emissary's lights out in a couple matchups. Yeah, but like, what matchup is Emissary winning that like a couple Archons isn't, right? It seems like a waste of a sideboard slot. Anyway, I'm going to take that break that I just mentioned. I'm going to update Stream Decker before I forget. Oh shit! I should be turning on my coffee maker. I could certainly use some more fucking coffee. Oh, that's such a good fucking idea. Yeah, I got started like getting decks together and stuff like a full hour before the stream started. Oh shit! But I have not had enough caffeine. My 1 cup of coffee, that's not enough. All right, Stream Decker is updated. Hell yeah, Dark Drew. Thanks for the 51 months. Coffee for the fucking win. Coffee for the goddamn win. I'm not sure about the surgicals in the board. Surgical is not the hate card you want against either Luris or Living End. But they're kind of good at stripping combo decks sometimes. Yeah, I'm really not sure. Okay. How's everyone doing? Ready to play some fucking Magic? Thanks for hanging out, folks. Thanks for waiting for me. I know that was kind of a longer break. I fucking, well, for me anyway. I forgot that I hadn't had breakfast. So I grabbed myself an everything bagel, melted some cheese on it. And it smells heavenly. This coffee smells fucking heavenly. You all left? Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, it's still a booze stream hate industry. Sometimes I even put some brandy in my coffee. A very Wisconsin thing to do. Warm myself up in these cold months. You like that, Bobo? Nice. Yeah, I was kind of excited when I had the idea. I know a lot of streamers have like coffee cam or what's the word? Like cat cameras and stuff, so you can like see their cat hanging out while they're streaming. That's where I got the idea. Obviously, a coffee cam is not as cool as a cat cam, but I like seeing coffee getting brewed. And then people that aren't seeing ads. There's at least like something on the screen. One of the things that I really love about the primetime version of this deck is you're never like this sad to see an Archon in your opener. Because like a primetime you can just like cast and help win eventually. Correct easier like this. This is actually a full album by Halo Crafts. This is Halo Crafts' premiere album. And we're half an hour into it at this point. Oh, there are some blood crypts in here. We can cast Archons. It's a little slow. I was not expecting Manamorphose. Hell yeah, easier like this. Hell yeah, NJG. Yeah, I love that band. Little psychedelic, little hype. Some interesting instrumentation. A lot of psychedelic groups, or I'm sorry, a lot of psytrance groups are just like the same as like any other EDM scene type thing. It's just like one or two people producing. But 1,200 micrograms has like an actual, like, bunch of people playing instruments and stuff. I really want to see one of their live shows. They do have Gigantha. I wasn't sure about hitting my my next land drop, is why I iced the grinding station. I was planning on icing their monkey if they dashed again.
Oh shit, what up?
Oh shit, what up? Hey, Mix and Go, thanks for the 21 months. You think iced monkey is a delicacy? I don't know about all that. She was making Archon. I feel like Prismari Command is like really good in this spot. Doesn't really stop bridge though, right? That's how they win. They like play bridge. Fuck, they had a thing. That's unfair. I have command up for monkey. The name of this avatar? I believe the name of this avatar is that sexy Jin. Yeah, I feel like Expressive should be in this list. Some number. It's really good against control opponents. God, that bagel was good. I was so hungry and I like didn't even fucking realize. I don't think I even had dinner last night. I think I had breakfast and lunch yesterday. And then I was just like tired and passed out. I found out that the editing software that I use for streaming is just Adobe Premiere, which I justified myself buying the Pro version for, because, you know, I'm using it all the goddamn time. Part of my business and all that. Splurged a little bit. But I found out that it could, you can, like, input VST plugins. And now I want to fuck around with, like, I don't know, running my didgeridoo through, like, guitar distortion effects and shit. So I was doing a little bit of that last night. I feel like I've, like, just scratched the surface. I wonder if any, like, actual producers use Adobe Premiere. It seems unlikely. I'm having a good day, Captain Maple Syrup. Thank you. Do I have to record the didgeridoo? Oh, I get to record the didgeridoo, Salty Ninja. That's the fun part. So our best draw here would be another Dwarven Mine, because then we could get 2 Archons. I'm gonna Creativity and target the DRC and the Treasure Token. Actually, that could go really poorly. It could, like, give them the Emery that they need to go off. But it could also, like, hit a Mishra's Bauble for them. Or Ragavan. Yeah, I think overall it's good. Or like a redundant grinding station. I don't think a second grinding station helps them really. What's up, Lems Forward? Oh, fun, Salty Ninja. Yeah, I started playing when I was like a freshman in high school. Are they bolting their own DRC? Oh no, they're bolting me. That makes more sense. They just want to, like, use the trigger.
What happens next? Well,
Yeah, I don't think a redundant grinding station helps them. I think this is really good. When they're comboing, DRC is super nice. Yeah, lately I've been experimenting with I've been doing vocals with Dig playing since high school, like for a very long time. But it's only very recently that I started doing throat singing vocals with the Dig playing, which is giving me some, like, really cool sounds. What are they trying to hit here? Just land, I suppose. This Prismari command looks fucking insane. I think it puts the game away. If they bolted their own DRC, it would not fizzle the creativity. Anytime something says X, it tries to resolve the card as best it's able. So if you have 2 targets and one of them's still legal, it'll still try and do that one. In order to fizzle the card, all the targets have to be not legal anymore. If they were at 3 instead of 6, we could creativity the Archon, get another Archon and kill them. They're at 6 though, if you hadn't noticed. Yes, I've played the Villamachus turns version of creativity. I think that's the first build that I played. Always nice to win a game 1. Oh, Mystical Dispute? Kinda don't want that card. It's gotta be better than Spreading Seas, though. You think it's better than Remand? Mystical Dispute? It probably is. We can do a split. The thing is, we're gonna be on the draw here. The Remand's a little bit worse on the draw. Maybe I should even 3-2 it in the other direction. Yeah, this seems fine. Sand's not great. It's very light on gas, right? We don't have any creativities or what have you. We have a Bolt for a Ragavan or an Emery. We got a Spell Pierce here. Ooh, that might help. Is Emrakul an option against their mill plan B? I think planning to win like after they are drawing their whole deck and and all that. I don't think that's great. I don't think they're milling us. This is what I'm getting at. How did Merfolk do? Merfolk went 3-2. It had some like really fucking busted draws, and it had some really clunky draws. I preferred the busted draws personally. But it did make the Marrow Regery Utopia Sprawl engine look pretty real. It looked pretty sweet. Did I run your list? I don't know, Drake Gideon. I like tried to recreate a list that I saw on Twitter from like a month ago. Yeah, that doesn't help me, Drake Gideon. I'm sorry. We just jam? Do we wait a turn? We might not have a turn. Get attacked for like 5 here. Like if they have a bolt, I'm basically dead anyway. I think I'm just supposed to jam. Yeah, I don't think they pop that explosives if they don't have another thing. But if I top deck another Dwarven Mine or Hard Evidence, something along that line, or I'm sorry, not Dwarven Mine. We can fetch Dwarven Mine with the turn. If I top deck another Transmogrify or Creativity, I can go for it again here. I'd go down to, come on, Surgical. That's not what I need. Yeah, shit. Maybe I should just been trying to use the Dwarven Mine token to block Ragavan, and then like they probably bolted and to get it out of the way of the Ragavan, and then we'd still have Transmogrify for this next turn. Yeah, I think that was a better line than what I did. What if I got remands for like more bolts and stuff? Gonna have like 1. Yeah, you got a JRC. If this ain't at a second land, I'd be really into it. Like, I love having the turn 1 Hard Evidence. A Mystical Dispute and Surgical or Bolt Gas here. I think I would keep this hand on a draw. I'd be like really happy with it on the draw. Oh my fucking god. Oh shit, what up? This is not a terrible 5. Oh shit, what up? Hey, the Elk thinks the 52 months. Do I have another hot date on Friday? I have a hot date with the dentist. Oh shit, what up? Oh shit, what up? Hey, Cornchip628 thinks of 53 months. Oh shit, what up? The opponent is playing Grindstone combo. The second Hard Evidence plays kind of hard into explosives, but sure is an efficient use of mana. I think I'm gonna wait a turn. Someone's mouth is getting filled tomorrow? Yeah, ideally. Fucking ideally. This mouth has not been filled in a long time by a dentist. It's pretty necessary. What am I gonna play in Legacy tomorrow? I don't know, whatever the fuck I want. Not Ragavan. Get wrecked, monkey lovers. Spit the fluoride, don't swallow it. Oh, that's legit. Hagak? I don't think Hagak's been very good for a while. I don't think it had anything to do with Ragavan. Might try playing decks with discard again. Come on, land! Yes. We did the thing! Why did Rag get banned in Legacy? Because it had the largest metagame presence of any deck in the history of Legacy. For that length of time, anyway. Jund? Probably not Jund. I was thinking some bug, maybe. Please play that Uro card. I don't think this horn does anything, right? There's like literally no way for it to win. Can I play Veteran Explorer plus Therapy? I've been meaning to play Veteran Explorer plus Therapy. Veteran Explorer itself probably gets like a lot worse without Ragavan around. It was actually probably pretty insane against that card in particular. But the discard spells, Cabal Therapy and whatnot, get a little bit better. I don't think I ever had Ragavan hit like a fucking duress or something off my deck and then won the game. It just never happened. You've been wondering if the new 5/6 flyer is potentially legacy playable? The 4-mana 5/6, the 2 black. Interesting idea. Oh man, should I play some Suicide Black? I fucking love that black stompy deck. Play some fucking Rotting Regisaur action. The issue though is that it costs 4, right? There's a lot of other big chunky 4-drops you could play, and none of them have like quite made the cut because they all cost 4. You think this one's the best? I think fucking, that 3/3 that can, like, Edict on hit, well, it's probably the best. Yeah, Rankle. In terms of, like, a 4-drop black legacy creature, it's probably the closest, even though it's boltable. Is Delver still gonna be one of the best decks? Oh yeah, of course. But hopefully it won't be one deck and 20+% of the meta share. Historically, Delver has always been one of the better decks, but it's hovered around like 10 to 14% of the meta share, and that's been 3 different archetypes that all have their own unique strengths and weaknesses. And with the recent Modern Horizons 2 printings, and it's obviously not just Ragavan, right? There's also like Murktide and Expressive Iteration, you know, with DRC. But with those printings, the deck got really homogenized. And it started being like 20+% of the format, which we hadn't seen throughout like all of Legacy's history. So even if Delver continues to be one of the better decks, I like it because it's a deck that people can target, you know? It's weak to Blood Moons and uncounterable spells, and it has to attack with like piddly 3Xs, like gives your opponent a little bit of time. People can beat Delver if they want to. So I don't mind it being a best deck, but I do like me some format diversity. It's kind of like the point of Legacy, right? Is that like there's a variety of decks you can play against. Oh, they're getting my other card too. Apparently my opener would have been better. The Inquisition could have only gotten 1 card there, right? I'm on fire. Do I think Death and Taxes heads back to 75? Why would Death and Taxes head back to 75? Ragavan being around was not the reason the Death and Taxes went to 75 cards. The reason to go to 75 cards is because the Orion gives you like a ton of value against not just tempo decks, but like the control decks of the format and stuff. It just ends up being worth it. Yeah, some people still play 60-card Death and Taxes every once in a while. But I think the Orion build is played more for a reason. I need to draw that last turn. Chilling out for Solitude, yeah. Good news is, it's not like Solitude's gonna magically be bad, you know, in the near future. How much better would Expressive be here in this remand? I think what I want to do is, rather than, like, if I could have fired the DRC before it became a 3/3, that would have been awesome. But I think what I want to do now is just ice the Ragavan. Let them bolt the Dwarf token. Ice Ragavan so it doesn't get in. Cantrip. I don't think that question makes much sense, Goody Film. If you want to play threats that are good against answers, like True Name or Nimble Mongoose or whatever the fuck, you can do that. A removal spell's not about to snowball the game, right? You could argue that Oko was an answer of sorts. So basically, we need to draw like a creativity here. Goody Phil, I gave you my answer. If you don't like my answer, I don't care. I'm focusing on this game here. Thoughts on them banning days in the coming weeks? They kind of said that they weren't going to do that. I don't know if it made it into the article, but Gavin Verhey was talking about how cards that are pillars of the format, are keys to identifying the format, are much less likely to get banned. I'm not sure why people thought a day's ban was realistic or something to discuss endlessly for the past however many months, but I am not surprised it did not get banned. And I would be surprised if, in the coming weeks, they decided to ban days. Now they're gonna ban days just to spite me. Yeah, I kind of get the pillars of the format argument. If you start banning cards like Brainstorm and LED and Wasteland and Force of Will or whatever, you just end up with like the modern format that's like prohibitively expensive, right? You get like worse modern. This fucking main deck explosives.
Come as close to our world as this one is expected to in the next 3 weeks, if our calculations are correct.
Think something will happen?
I wish I knew. At the best, atmospheric disturbances, hurricanes, probably tidal waves.
And at the worst?
Good fucking Colgan's command. What a brutal last card. Yeah, I like making the treasure token because I could draw a creativity and that would be live, and then a land would just let me hardcast the Archon, which would be pretty winning. And then we have this crab in play, so it seemed unlikely that they could both like counter the Archon and get the crab out of the way for Ragavan, so I thought I was gonna be safe for at least another turn, and now I'm just looking super fucking dead, We need like another hard evidence or something. Like a creativity, their shit. Hope they hit something weird.
Oh, is that why he's in Bury?
He is correct in his deductions. His isolated
All right, we're still technically live. Do they know about the Archon? I don't know. Yeah, they inquisitioned me a few times. I'm pretty sure they know about the Archon, but it's still correct for them to kill the token because I'm like spending the command to make it. And they want to make sure that I don't have tokens in play so that creativity can't just like turn into Archons, right? It was a good Cooligan's command. It was a heads-up play. That was why we were blowing up the explosives, was so that we could potentially do creativity things. Shadows? Yeah, I don't think they're playing Death Shadow. I think it's just Lurrus Control. So this is a game that I think the primetime version of the deck would have won. Even if we draw like the exact same cards, but have primetime instead of Archon, we could have played primetime. We got some ballot cuts at some point.
This is not visible with the naked eye.
Not yet.
Archon is super fucking good though, isn't it?
The bury.
What I really want for this matchup is Veil of Summer. I think I'm gonna cut Spreading Seas. They're not playing Saga, so it's not that Spreading Seas is bad against the Grixis mana base. I just think our other cards are gonna be more important. I want to play this Memory Deluge. This is a sort of matchup where, man, I really like some number of expressive iterations. We could play Mystical Dispute. The issue is that it doesn't hit a lot of their stuff. It doesn't hit like Cooligan's Command or discard spells. It mostly is just hitting Snapcaster. Or counters if they have counters. You can cast Mystical Dispute for 3 mana though, that's kind of real. Yeah, I'm thinking about the Shark Typhoon. It's either one Shark Typhoon or one Mystical Dispute. I agree with that, Dubba-Dubs. At some point, it seems like Lurrus will go from Modern. But right now, Modern's diverse and fun. But even though there's like a wide variety of decks, it does get a little old playing against Lurrus like over and over and over again. So it can kind of like homogenize gameplay, even if there's some nice deck diversity. Yeah, let's try a Shark out. Should Bobble be looked at legality-wise in Modern? I mean, if you cut Lurrus, I don't think Bobble's a $40 card anymore, right? If Lurrus isn't on the table, why would Lurrus not be on the table? Why would you ban the shitty cantrip over the over the busted recursion engine? I think Bobble's a fun tool in Modern, even without Lurrus. You can use it for devotion and shit. Delirium, rather. I think that's super cool. I really want to fire the DRC before they start getting value. We might be able to do even better, so I guess I'll chill. Bubble's only $10, not 40. It's been 40 on Moto before. I think this Memory Deluge is gonna be real fucking good. I want to pierce that so bad. I don't think it's quite correct. Should I memory right now? I don't think so. I think they gotta do something eventually. Fetching Dwarven Mine here. Just have another token for the Ragavan in case something bad happens. I'm just creativity for 1. In case they have another counter or something. Hey, nice to have a backup. Luris coming in hot. I don't think that card does anything here. Are they killing my Archon? Alright, fair enough. That is the real strength of Archon. I've been comparing this version to the primetime version that I usually play. One of the real strengths of Archon is that it helps you cantrip into the next Archon. It is, I think, obviously the best thing to hit with creativity. So that game played out well. I do not know what the next cube format is. It'll be a bit anyway, though. Like, we're entering the preview cycle for the new set, and they usually don't have cube up when the new set comes out. So it'll be at least a few weeks after Kamigawa comes out anyway. So I'm not stressing it. Do we not like Emmy Angel? Well, I mean, I think those cards are much worse, so no, I don't like them. Archon does so much. Buffs your life total, hits their hand, cantrips you into the next Archon. The Angel and Emrakul don't do that, and they're a little bit worse to draw naturally, huh? Is there a Lutri deck in Modern? Sort of. Some people have fun playing with Lutri, and it's not the worst. That doesn't mean that there's like one stock Lutri deck. There's not enough people working on it for there to be like one stock list or anything. Do you scoop to Surgical on Archon? Sure. So? Does Amulet scoop to fucking Surgical in primetime? Probably. Does that matter? No, not really. Very niche consideration. I'm gonna chill for a turn, keep this fire ice up. Maybe even ice them. You're not being a smartass? I didn't think you were being a smartass. A lot of times people ask that question, they think it's like a relevant consideration or a relevant weakness or something, instead of just like a fact of playing a combo deck. And that's where my bemusement was coming from. I have beaten Burn with fucking Dwarven Beats before. After like mostly locking them out with their own Eidolon. That was on camera actually. I was playing in one of the energy events and I got paired against Burn when we were in the X and 1 bracket. And my opponent went like Goblin Guide, and I went Hard Evidence. And their mana base was they were using like a Painland mana base. And then there was like Eidolon and it's taking like a ton of self-damage. I had fucking this like insane like quad Blossoming Defense draw too. Is that the name of the card? The 1 white. You gain Hexproof, gain 2 life. I think I might have the wrong card name. Blooming something, I don't know. Blossoming Calm, that's it. I was closer than I thought I was going to be. Let's not crack the Clue token. Let's just play Creativity on Clue. Make them have, like, Pierce specifically. Yeah, Blossoming Calm's kind of fucked up. I didn't expect it to be a real sideboard card. Wow, they had Pierce specifically. Alright. Well, it got me. You have to crack the Clue token and you target your Crab with that Creativity instead. Then a Bolt can fizzle it, and they've shown that they still have Bolt in postboard, so... Lyris goes to hand. That's totally fine. Ooh. Love that. Love that for me. They don't even have anything to rebuy with Lyris currently. Yeah, one of the really cool things about this version of the deck is that double blue cards are like kind of reasonable. So the 4-color version that I was playing, like you couldn't even consider Memory Deluge. Because you mostly like only want to have 1 blue mana up at any given time. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I could consider it. Have I seen the Modern Time Steve combo? Maybe. Are we liking this version more than the Prime Time? I don't know. I've been kind of like talking about the pros and cons as I've gone along. Obviously, I've played a shitload of the Prime Time version and put up some like really good numbers with it. But that doesn't mean that other builds aren't worth testing out, especially if people have been winning with them. Oh shit, that resolved. Wasn't expecting that. They discarded Laris. Fucking broken. Killing another Archon. Kind of close to casting another one. Fair enough. So the reason I shocked myself here is I'm going to be flashing back that memory deluge. And that's why I was fine grabbing another Dwarven Mine, even though I technically needed a second black source for the Archon at the time. Because you flash back memory and like don't find the black source you're needing. Pretty fucking unlucky hum. The new Billy Talent album is firing. Nice. I might switch over to that after this league, late night when I like need a little bit of a pick-me-up. I think this music's like really good to put me into a groove, put me in a zone. No lyrics, decent energy. Not chill enough to like put me to sleep, but I guess that's just a win, huh? I guess I'll just win. Was there an argument to swing with both goblins last turn? There's an argument for it. The reason I didn't was because a dash Ragavan could get them back into the game. If they dash Ragavan and then hit like a relevant card off my deck or something. So I didn't leave the 1/1 back for the Snapcaster. We were at a high enough life total where it's certainly like winning the race if we turn them both sideways. But we got a bunch of value in our hand, so there's no reason to like give the opponent to put way back in when we're already so far ahead. Great question. Oh, something that I probably should have explained. My reasoning there at the time. Am I liking this deck so far? I'm liking it fine. I hate the Spreading Seas and the Remands so far. But I like the heavier blue in the mana base. And Spell Pierce and Fire and Ice have been good. I've not minded the Tread and Tomographize. I feel like there should be some amount of Expressive Iteration or Memory Deluge in the main deck. Yeah. Can I explain my reasoning for being so handsome? Oh, easily. Yeah, it just seemed better. You know? Why not be handsome? Four expressive. I was actually down to 3 in the 4-color version. But then I had the 4th copy in the board because it was like so good against control decks. It's just like actually the card I wanted over like some other counter or something. Grixis sounds rancid. Miashan. Jeskai seems totally fine. Bolt. That's not a bolt. Yeah, I think this draw is reasonable in the dark, but it wasn't quite in the dark, huh? Seeing Alaris. I think I should have mulled. Should have put a little bit more thought into it. That's something that I don't, as a player, do enough. Is like use the companion information. I'm an old dog. It's still a relatively new trick to me. -1 remand? I mean, if I play this deck through another league, it's gonna be more than -1 remand. Might even try and play actual counterspell. Kind of unlikely though, I think. Ooh. Yeah, I'm into that. Why is Spreading Seas in the deck? Spreading Seas is really good against Urza's Saga, and it cantrips you into your combo stuff. This is like this disruptive draw card thing. I don't think it's like the worst idea ever, but they have not been great this league. This is the second time I've had a Kolaghan's Command. Just straight up trade with hard evidence. Spell Pierce here instead of Remand would be so good, right? It'd be fucking insane. Spell Pierce here would just be like game winning, I think. Could Blood Moon fit in your Dwarven Mind deck? No, it could not. That would be a fucking terrible idea. These DRCs are about to get a whole lot juicier. The free dwarf, yeah, not for another turn. Not for another turn, and susceptible to bolt, right? Where's the hard evidence? Like the O3 was blocking the Spragavan from connecting, and then the clue token is like way less susceptible to like random removal spells. You don't mind a couple Pierce in this list? There are a couple Pierce in this list. Like that one. I wonder why they didn't pierce me. Because they could have used the treasure token to pierce my remand instead of replaying the Dothy. Just let me draw a card. shit, what up? Hey, Hyper Deficit, thanks for the 16 months. Is the new art behind me? Not super new. That's a Springloom Druid. I've had that one for a few years now, but hasn't always been up. Can they actually play my Archon with the Voidwalker? If they only attack with Death Shadow and 2 DRC, I have to chump the Death Shadow. And then I think they could sack the Voidwalker to play my Archon. Kind of funny. The Archon doesn't quite do it here, right? We can hit the Death Shadow and our Dwarf. And then we assume they sack whatever whatever we hit off the creativity. We only go up to 4. I guess we just lose. Oh, we draw a card though. We could draw Bolt. We could draw Lightning Bolt specifically. So instead of doing the X equals 2, we're just gonna do X equals 1 and try and sack the fuck out. Because they're only at 5. Come on, old deck, don't let me down. Boo. Alright, we lose. If you do X's 2 and hit Bobble off their deck, yeah, they can still play the Luris from their hand, and then dash the Ragavan. I think they might have even had lethal through an edict. The Archon makes them discard, but they had a sack land in play. They can sack, then discard what they draw off that instead. I think they were good. I think my line was fine. Remains a little bit better on the play, so I might end up playing some of those, but I want these, I want this again. Do I want this? I don't know. Play 1 Remand, 1 Sharkmaker. Yeah, I think trying to draw a Lightning Bolt there was correct. Even with the chances of hitting Bobble off theirs. Knowing that they had Lurus and stuff. So any land for them would be lethal. Merfolk ended up going 3 and 2. The Merfolk deck felt really promising. Especially since I was like building the list from memory and stuff. Just doing some real cool shit. We had some like real juicy kills from just like having a couple creatures in play. Oh, but you saw that if you saw the 2-0 start. Were they Mardoom? Oh yeah, that's a good call. Maybe those Mystics I brought in are pretty bad. My head was just thinking Death Shadow. I was playing against Grixis earlier, and so maybe my brain's just full of the old brain worms here. Jace could be main decked. Yeah, you can main deck a Jace. I think Memory Deluge is just so much better, though. You got me. No, Transmogrify. The cool thing about Jace is you can put, like, cards back into your deck to then creativity for him. But then you've had to, like, resolve Jace. You had to have had the Archons in your hand. You have to be in a situation where you couldn't just, like, get to a spot where you're casting Archon anyway. It's just a lot, I think. Crab down. Citizen Snips. Detective Crabs. Detective Scuttles on the case. Last time I was in Hawaii, I was just like, I don't know, in a really good place. I just went out to the beach and like read for a while and meditated. And I was so still for so long that the crabs like started treating me as part of the scenery. And it was like huge civilization of sand crabs, like fucking dicking around with each other over these like giant centipedes they were grabbing and like dragging down into the sand, and I don't know, they're just like very funny and super fun to watch. I just like watched them for hours, and people and their dogs would walk past and they would just like fucking freeze and blend into the sand or like scuttle like directly under the sand, or like they would all just like fucking disappear, and this whole like beach of activity would just become completely still, and people would like almost step on them like not even noticing, and dogs would walk past and stuff, and then they would be past, you know, and there would be a few seconds of stillness after the people had walked past, and then the crabs would come out again. What a great fucking time. Playing a Dwarven Mine this turn would have been fine instead of the Blood Crypt. Did they all dance to some royalty-free music? That track's not royalty-free. It's owned by. Very accessible though. I did not blast Crab Rave on my phone. No. Kind of a shields down moment for the opponent here. Salem's sick. It is. It is a sick one. We're actually on the third Black Sky Giant album in a row. Come on, creativity. We didn't draw the creativity. This is also an odd choice, because this could be used to bounce the Death Shadow. The artwork behind me is Spring Moon Druid. I've had it for a few years. Aw, they thought about it. Sitting there in that Sacred Foundry. The pause. The fucking pause. Do we counter that? I kind of want to let it resolve and then just Prismari command here. Get my loot on. Let's loot now. Oh, I guess I was planning on shocking them. So another Prismari command or another bolt would do it. So the benefit to looting now is if you find Spell Pierce, you get to rock this Kolaghan's command. But we can just like loot the Spell Pierce away, and the same I'm planning with the Mystical Dispute. Yeah, let's just take 6. Transmogrify isn't a dead draw. We got a turn. We can just fetch another Dwarven Mine. The whole conceit of the deck is that you can fetch Dwarven Mine. So it's very rare that Transmogrify or Creativity are dead. Ugly. I was really hoping to loot away this Mystical Dispute, but I think I actually hold on to it now. Oh, fuck. Be luckier, yeah. They haven't actually brought back a Bauble with Aluris yet. I'm considering just bolting Aluris. If they don't have a bolt to finish me off, though, I still want this bolt to be live on their face. Opponent gets to marvel at my Mystical Dispute. Alright, let's go. Let's fucking go, deck. A lot of live draws. Got a remand 2. Yeah, right, cooldown max. How much better would Expressive be here? Just a smidge better off the top. No. Nice remand, yeah. I mean, I could have just discarded it, but then I draw the Wooded Foothills for turn, and I'm still super dead, right? Close game. There's a series of draws there for like 2 or 3 turns where if we get like anything, we're in a good spot. I did misboard, obviously. But even with the misboarding, like I still could have countered things with a Mystical Dispute. I don't think that mattered that much. It was still an option. Deluge was still in the graveyard, but that was the first turn that we hit 7 mana. So I guess we could have just like let the Crux resolve and then flashback Deluge. Yeah, that's probably better than playing the remand. Fair enough. I was planning on deluging on their end of turn anyway. And then even if they bring back Crux to that turn, assuming your 7 mana Memory Deluge finds 2 spells, you then just get to like discard one of those, so the Crux that doesn't kill you immediately. Yeah, it might have been a winning line. Yeah, I think you're right, Draconis. Of course, if the remand doesn't hit a land, you know, then you're like also not dead to the Crux. But then you have like less hits to win the game on the next turn. Looking at like 3 cards instead of 8 or what have you. And you're obviously less likely to die there by bricking and having to get a land. Whichever version of the deck I'm playing, I think I want more 1-mana removal spells than just 4 Bolt or 4 Prismatic. Hey, much love to you too, Draconis. Good luck with your sleep. This is blue-red creativity, yeah. I'm giving it a shot. Go to push, just for Death or just for, You wouldn't want to main deck push in this deck because you don't actually want to fetch black mana. The 2 black shocks are just there to hardcast Archon if you really, really need to in the super late game. We're not actually a black deck. We're a straight blue-red deck. This fire might be bad. The opponent's just like chilling over there. Oh, nope, that fire was great. Fucking tremendous. I was worried that it would turn on their hand. The fact that they haven't played anything yet kind of implies that they've got a Murktide as their next threat. Hate Thoughtseize in the 4-color deck. Pretty sure I was playing 4-colored non-black too. Five colors? No. You're playing creativity in either version, YTF. No matter how many colors you're playing, you're still playing this card. This card's great. It's possible that third remand is bad. Could help me resolve this creativity. Kind of hate discarding that Seize. Yeah, I get that Teferi is good, YTF. I get it. I've played a shitload, an absolute incredible shitload of Indomitable Creativity. Right now I'm trying out this blue-red version because I haven't played this version at all. I'm certainly not new to the archetype. We did the counter, so we could resolve the crab. Well, they're not countering the crab. Sometimes blue-red plays soft counters, like Spell Pierce. Is why I let on the creativity. I was pretty sure they had counterspell, but even still, getting the counter out of their hand lets us potentially resolve just like casting the Archon. We'll see. Why do crabs have 0 power? Because they move sideways. You ever put a bunch of crabs in formation to attack? Fury, interesting. Yeah, crabs don't do damage in the normal way. Usually they do deck damage. It's because of that sideways attack. Let's pass with all this fucking mana open. I feel like this Archon's gonna get countered too, but I also feel like I should cast it. Excuse me. Most creatures are sideways when they attack in this game. Right. Because that's the natural method of attacking and dealing damage. So if you take a card that's already sideways, and you tap it to attack, and all of a sudden it's untapped, doesn't make any sense. If you could somehow give a crab vigilance, then it might start dealing some damage. Very jealous of my opponent's expressive iterations. This Transmogrify is bad. Or maybe it's fine. Okay, phew. I was worried about Archmage's Charm stealing the Dwarf token. I think it's still a legal target. Yeah, they don't have red up, so we don't have to do like Access 2 here or anything. Yay, Archon. Even if they steal it, though, even if they steal the Dwarf token, it's not like they're getting an Archon, right? Because it flips off the top of their deck. So for a second, I was in my head, I was like, oh, this is real bad. What if they steal it and, and they get an Archon? And that's what my stupid idiot brain was doing. But obviously that wouldn't work. They'd get like a DRC or something. Fucking Mishra's Bauble. Get them down to 2, so now even if they answer the Archon, we can still just shock them. Fury? Yeah, Fury would be pretty good, actually. Ah. Dashavan. I think we let this Ragavan connect. Or no, what if they exile my Dwarf? I'm gonna fetch and make a Dwarf and then not block. Just make sure I have another thing repping lethal with them at 2. Nope, take it. I will say I've been shitting on Remand like this entire league. It was pretty good this game. My opponent had that awkward draw where they had to just keep on playing Expressive over and over instead of deploying threats. If the opponent didn't want to be dead on board, they could have played my own Prismari command to kill a Dwarf. Kind of implies they have something else. Maybe a Charm to steal a Dwarf. Could be better. They cast Prismari, they lose. Right, yeah, because then they're being tapped out and we resolve the command. For sure. I don't want Shark Typhoon, do I? I don't think so. I think this shit's all gas. So I just need to come up with a few cuts. I'm gonna cut a couple of these remands on the draw. They can be decent in counter battles, though. You know, trim a Fire Ice. I've really liked Fire Ice against these Ragavan decks, though. Sometimes you kill a DRC and a Ragavan. Feels so good. But we're bringing these dead gods. We can go down one lower. On the draw, it's just like really important to be able to kill Ragavan, right? Might have had an answer. Will they tap out? Sure, I see what you're saying. They might have had another like red removal spell in hand and not be dead to the dwarves. But then they saw that we were drawing the bolt, and so they packed it. Gotcha. Were they Murktide? They were definitely Murktide. You see how there's no Lurrus here? What card do you think that they would be playing in the typical blue-red Murktide shell? What card do you think they would be playing so they would not have Lurrus in their list? I'm gonna give that a like 99.9% certainty. We know they're playing Fury. Just Fury. Just Fury, no Murktide. That'd be hilarious. Cut these shitty Murktides. Plus some fucking Furies. This is 1-for-1 swap. Blue-red gas? Yeah, but Murktide's like the gassiest gas. It's like the best card in that deck. Crackling Drake? Oh, man. Yeah, I like my cards to cost 4 mana instead of 2 or whatever. But you get to draw a card. Everyone likes drawing cards. Kind of hate shocking, but sure. What we're looking to do here is like loot and make treasure, I think. Get ahead on mana. Right now the opponent's like not playing a ton of threats. So these like bolts and whatever. Not bad cards to loot away. Sure thing, friend. You got it. My land drop just fucking ate a bolt and I still get the land. That's fucking insane. When I play with Polymorph, we have more red mana in the deck than blue mana. And Polymorph's just like the same thing as the red version of the card. You'll notice that we're only playing 2 copies of the red version too. I like these first 6 turns we've been jamming. Just very setup. Opponent drawing cards. Us like trying to loot. Ooh. If we had Tarn in play, we could get a basic island. We don't have a Tarn in play. Might be out of dwarves, folks. Might be out of dwarves at this point. But I think we're still in good shape. Archon? Probably not hard casting. Icing now in case we draw like Spell Pierce for the Blood Moon. Even though we have the basic island, it's still like a little obnoxious. Maybe I am hard casting. Oh no, because I only have one treasure token now. That's right. I need to Prismari command at their end of turn when the mana was no longer floating. Because then I'd have 2 treasure. Well, shit, hum. We'll scrag a Clume. Fucked that one up a little bit. Bring my other Prismari into the counter. I was like, if they play counter, then we know that they don't have Spell Pierce, and that's going to be, like, really good. And then it's like, it's super not good or important at all. Just bad. Oh well. Little sloppy. Little sloppy. Haven't played Modern in a while. I mean, I played the League before this one, but still getting back into it. Having fun, too. I've missed this format. I didn't realize that I missed this format, but I do miss this format. A lot of real cool interactions and such. Would have had to use the treasure to cast command? No, if I just wait until their end of turn? Why would that have been the case? Oh, because the Blood Moon's resolving. Good call, good call. That made it a lot more intuitive to do it then, because I would have had to wait an entire another turn if I didn't want to burn the treasure. Or I could have iced off of Steam Vents instead of this island. That was the actual mistake. I'm really glad you said that, because now I've realized the actual mistake was tapping my basic island instead of my Steam Vents to cast ice. Because that's a really good habit to get into, right? Like, if the Blood Moon resolves, then you want to, of course, you want to have the island untapped, not a fucking Steam Vents, not another mountain. I didn't have the basic untapped? Right, I know. I understand. Because I played ice with it. Oh, I said to stop on my upkeep, not theirs. Whatever. Ooh, right on time. We hold on to this mountain. We have a 4th Prismari command. Oh no, we've played all 4. Maybe I should just play the mountain then. It's like super doesn't fucking matter. I've not seen the calibrated blast deck. I don't know what you're talking about. Send in the dwarf. I think my dwarf's more important than the Ragavan. Why would I offer that trade? Usually dwarves are very replaceable because you can just fetch more, but that's not happening. I'm the only one I get. We have used all of our treasure producers. We are not hardcasting Archon this game. The 4-color version of the deck plays Strike Rich, which I wouldn't hate here. Wouldn't be the worst thing ever. I'm going to chill on this Fire Ice for a bit. There's a good chance we get to use Ice to restrict their access to blue mana on our future point here. Striker Rich. Striker Rich is good because it's like an actual ramp card, casting your top end threat, whatever your top end threat is. Assuming you're not playing like the Vigilant Monkey. Assuming you're not playing like the Emrakul version or whatever. You don't need to play 4. I've seen people play like 2 or 3 before. I was really liking 4 in the 4-color build. But I was also playing like quad prime time, so just like turn 1, Striker Rich, turn 3, turn 2 removal spell, turn 3 flashback, Striker Rich, gives you a turn 4 prime time by itself. So it was really, really good for the curve in that deck. I could see playing like 1 or 2 in this deck. I wouldn't want all 4, I don't think. Our curve's not that aggressive. Yes, the dwarf is worth exactly a Ragavan. Yeah, I was thinking that looked like just like a counter there. Bet they wish they hadn't thrown away a Ragavan earlier this game. They'd be dashing right now. Fuck. Not the one I wanted to hit here. Now that all my crab maker, all my creatures are gone. It actually would have been disastrous though, with their hand being double unholy heat. Can we still win? Yeah, of course we can still win. There's still 4 creativities in our deck. And multiple hard evidences to make more tokens. I've been bolted. Very tempting to ice an island here. And then we have 2 draws towards creativity for the win. I guess they could have another heat to just kill Archon. I'm gonna ice an island. Fuck. Did I blink too soon? God, that's rancid. There's only 26 cards left in our deck. We haven't seen any creativity. Another copy of Hard Evidence would be a win here too, because we could play it plus Transmogrify. That is awkward. Hey, Zachary, thanks for the sub, thanks for the 3 months in advance. Fuck yeah. No Murktide? Well, they have Murktides in hand, they just haven't been able to play them. Because if they play Murktide, then they don't have blue mana for counters, right? Alright, we get another try, though. They saw that we didn't have a combo last turn, so they're thinking they don't need to hold up Counterspell this turn. So, we've got some draws. We got some fucking draws here. I would much rather draw... Fuck. Alright, I guess I lose. I was gonna say I would much rather draw creativity on this turn than draw the Crab Maker for Transmogrify, because they could have like a bolt for the crab, right? Hard fought game. Y'all 4 creativities in the bottom 25 cards of my deck there. Not ideal. Wow, we had some rough draws there still. Transmog their creature just to buy some time. I think we're like losing to whatever we transmogrify their creature into too. Like it doesn't have to be an 8/8 to like literally kill me in one hit, because we're only at 7 life, right? So if you give them a Ragavan or a DRC, they still have plenty of bolts left and stuff. Shark Typhoon would have been incredible that game. Maybe I want that one. Oh yeah, Zachary. Yeah, Stone Rebel's fun. And CPT Lemons, thanks for 28 months. You're very welcome. Glad you're still enjoying the stream. You think Memory Deluge looks heinous against Blood Moon? I mean, yeah. How many Blood Moons do you think they play? 2. And it's like my best card against the entire rest of their deck. I think I'm gonna leave that one in. Thanks for the advice, though. Yeah, Fire Ice was dope. I do like the remans in this matchup. There's just like not much else to pop for them. Oh, I could have Dead and Gone. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to cut a Transmogrify and go down to 1 copy. We could Spreading Seas post Blood Moon to get access to more blue mana, but again, that doesn't seem great. We were playing against Blue-Red Ragavan. Emrakul is just for Milliam. Or if there's a matchup where like Archon's not that good, I think I'd bring in Emrakul against like Tron maybe, but it's mostly just for Milm. There's very few matchups where Archon's not that good. Pose, if you cut Archons and then you draw Archons, then you're deading a whole lot of your deck. All those creativities and stuff are dead. Can't really shave them. Oh, I fucking guess. Not really what I want my opener to look like, but it's not the worst. A Bolt for an early Ragavan. Opponent took a Mulm. Archon is more than just a reanimator target in Modern. It's also quite strong in Legacy as well. How am I? I'm doing well, thank you, Resto Kiki. Little worried that I haven't managed to find, an Island Maker. In case they land Blood Moon. Ideally, I would chill in this Shark Typhoon for a while, until I'm making more than like a 2-2 or something. It was tempting to cycle on their end of turn there, just in case we end up with like a turn 4 combo. They had a mana up though, for a Bolt or whatever. Nah, Mind Sculptor kind of sucks, Kuja. You could play like 1. But I think it's worse than like a lot of other cards. Memory Deluge for 1. You get the Memory Deluge counter and you still get this like awesome value spell. You get to flashback at some point. The card's really strong. And currently this list has no expressive iteration. That's also just like way better than Jace. Remember that Jace costs about the same amount as like a Transmogrify or a Creativity or whatever. Whereas Expressive is a card that you could play on turn like 3 to hit land drops and such, and stack your hand. Bolting my face. It's so aggro. Very little red 7. I do not recommend making card choices based on real like niche scenarios, right? You want to think about what's best on average. Mostly mill Breloom Scheme. Same reason that other decks sideboard Nemricolm. I was saying earlier I could see boarding it in against Tron too. Or maybe Archon isn't the best. I'm not sure it's even bad there. Right. The no dash Ragavan is because they wanted to have 3 mana up instead of 2 mana. It's not suspicious at all. Also, didn't we have a fucking dwarf blocker? Every fetch that I've got represents a dwarf blocker. This match has been going pretty long. We're at 7 minutes, the opponent's at 5. Some wild shit. We know they have an Archmage's Charm here. Oh yeah, Dead and God had Fuse. I think if Dead and Gone had Fuse, it would be like a 4 of in a lot of main deck decks. Main deck decks, as opposed to main deck non-decks, right? Yeah, I like hard casting with backup too. I don't think they know about this dispute. They didn't see it off of like an earlier bobble or anything. They just cracked bobble now. But they might have just drawn the unlead and preferred to burn that instead of their valuable counterspell. Oh, I should have held that mountain, potentially loot away, So basically we're chilling here because we want the opponent to tap mana on their turn. That'll help us win the counter battle. Plus, we're the ones with an attacker. We're the ones with a threat. Probably not for long, but that's the current state of things. Yeah, I think that's fine. Mystical Dispute would be a hard counter here. But also, who cares? It's not the expressive matters. I think that's totally fine. Love the build in this album. So that treasure is going to let me have double Mystical Dispute up now, which means the Murktide just gets edicted. That's why I didn't care to fight over it. Whee! That little dwarf did it! Love it. There's a lot of similarities to how all the different creativity decks play out. I actually kind of liked not having Teferi in that matchup. Teferi is good, but it's a clunky card. It's a clunky card to try and resolve. And having the Fire Ices was really nice. Just a very flexible card. Hey, 7 Deadly Sins, thanks for the 39 months. Hello indeed. Moving does indeed suck, yeah. Oh man, the last time I moved, we only had like half the house packed up. And I woke up to my alarm, and I looked at the fucking time, and I looked at the house, and the movers were coming in like 2 hours, and I had like 2 hours to fucking everything, you know? Like everything that was not in a box had to go in a box. And I just fucking did it. It was ridiculous. I've never been all the way packed on the day that the movers are showing up. That's never happened for me. There was like a fucking pyramid of trash bags filled with clothing. Like I wasn't even using boxes. I was like, nope, it's going in the bag. There's a picture of me somewhere, like, sitting in front of this, like, giant wall of, like, boxes and, like, clothing bags and stuff. And I'm just sitting in the chair and my face is just fucking beet red. Just destroyed. Well, his hand sucks shit. I think it's a keep, though. This is not Magic Arena, Sham Scam. This is Magic the Gathering Online. It's an older platform, an older game. Yeah, thanks for the match, Ace Upferk. GG's. I don't think I outplayed you especially. A lot of that came down to draws, right? Especially that game 3, where you were just like not hitting land drops for forever. But yeah, thanks for the match. Hey, JR the Great. Thanks for the sub, thanks for the 2 months there. This right here is Boomer Magic. Oh yeah, peak Boomer Magic. Nice, can I win? Yeah, the last time I moved... Oh, Hammer Time, huh? The last time I moved via car, I had to fit all my possessions into a Honda Civic. And I just, like, didn't have... Just gonna bolt this. I just, like, didn't have furniture and stuff at the time. It was, like, a bike and my books and my clothes. There's no way in hell that would work now. I don't think I could fit my fucking TV into a Honda Civic. Oh, I should be doing this at the end of turn. Yeah, we've played Archons a couple of times over the course of this league. I've liked it. The random pair of blood. Fuck. That's not what I was hoping to draw here. Not what I was hoping for at all. You would have iced on upkeep? Is that what you have done? Interesting. Yeah, it's not a play that I considered. Does anybody else here like the ice on upkeep play? Definitely an interesting line. You could maybe get away with it in paper. Hey, Awakening Zone! Thanks for the sub, thanks for the 28 months. Welcome to the zone, everybody. You say it fast enough, then you cast ice. tap your 2 mountains really quick, one on top of the other. Yeah, I think I'm fucked. That's what I think. We know they have 2 hammers at this point from the Stone Forges. So they untap, they play 1 hammer, and we bolt, they play the other one. Really wish there was some anti-artifact shit in the board. We're leaning pretty hard on these Prismari commands. It's like a Shattering Spear or 2 or something. There's never enough space, huh? There's never enough space in fucking modern sideboards. Currently, right now, I'm thinking about like Damerkul and the Surgicals being the weak spots. I also think you don't need Memory Deluge. If you move the Spreading Seas to the board and play some expressive iterations in the main, you need the sideboard Memory Deluge a lot less. Remind me to fucking make my build once I'm done with this league. Would Modern be more interesting with 2 more sideboard slots? Maybe. Okay. They could ban Companions and then like half the format gets an extra sideboard slot right there. Yeah, when they unbanned Stoneforge, I did not think Hammer Time was going to be the deck to beat in the format. You don't think the Surgical's very good? Yeah, I agree. I agree. At the very start of the league, I talked about how, like, even if I disagree with some of the card choices, even if I would build this version of the deck differently, I still think there's some value in playing a straight net deck and trying to figure out the reasoning behind the deck creator's card choices. And even if all you find out, even if all it does is like reaffirm what you thought you knew originally, that's still useful. That's still like useful information. The only bad thing about it is it takes a lot of time. Few people have the time to play fucking everything, Oh, I'm piercing the shit out of that. Right, UFO, but like, I just wouldn't play Graveyard Hate in this meta. It's not necessary. Not live against enough decks, I don't think. If you are playing Graveyard Hate, it should be Graveyard Hate that, you know, is actually like decent against Luris or Living End. Surgical is, I think, literally just good against Esper Reanimator. And I don't think there's a lot of that. It might be like 4% of the meta or something. I'd have to check. Oh, less by a lot. Yeah, it's like 1%. On this site, I could check Goldfish too. I think I'm too lazy. Is Hammer Time the new Affinity? That's a good comparison. Playing a lot of very similar tools. Alright, opponent, you talked me into it. I'm gonna bolt this Smith. The new Infect? Yeah, it's like somewhere in between Infect and Affinity. The Springleaf Drum and the Saga feels very Affinity-ish. And like the threat base, like the Ornithopters and Memnites and stuff. And then the actual like hammer pump for the win feels very infecting. So it's sort of straddling those. If we can find a fucking creativity, we're gonna be in a pretty good spot here.
Oh shit, what up?
Hey, Rummy84, thanks to 18 months there. Hi, hi, hi. I don't think I care about taking an infect at all. Oh yeah, not just Saffron Swindom. Although he did do a ton of work with that deck. I fucking played Hammer Time pre-Stoneforge Mystic unbanning. I always thought it was like kind of underrated back then. Still a meme deck, but like
Oh shit, what up?
better than people thought it was for sure. Hey, Toastface Killer, thanks to the sub, thanks to 42 months. Digging very hard, looking for like a Spreading Seas type card, right? Because we not only have the 4 Spreading Seas, but we also have the 2 Alpine Moons post-board. So that's why I'm cracking the clue right now, trying to hit one of those 6 cards. It didn't work. I didn't hit them. In case you were wondering. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with associating it with Hammer Time Swindom, or associating Hammer Time with Saffron. Alpine Moon is good against Saga, yeah. It certainly is good against Saga. Good against the Zigmoth, too. mean, the Ornithopter was an interesting choice. Can we draw creativity? Yeah, creativity would be hot. Not my list, Bubblegumption. I would have Expressive Iteration in mind. My version of the deck. But this is a net deck. That's what you mean by L, right? Expressive. Oh, you're saying EI, for Expressive Iteration, I see. Yeah, after playing this league, I think the spreading seas are getting moved to the sideboard. If even there, right? If you sideboard like 2 or 3 Alpine Moons, I don't think you need the seas at all. And then that frees up a lot of main deck slots for expressives. So we could ice here and look for creativity. Sounds kind of bad. Why is Archon? Why am I playing Archon? I don't think Archon's a bad one to cheat in at all. The version of the deck that I usually play is a 4-color build with Primeval Titans. And the really cool thing about that build is that you can just like cast Prime Times and murder people just by like hard casting your Primeval Titan. But Archons are certainly better against aggro. So I figured I would try out this build. I don't think they would get Needle here, but just in case, I guess. The, yeah, I think there's some merit to Archon for sure. Y'all ready to finally draw creativity here? Should we bolt something? Both Prime and Archon? No. Don't like that at all. Then you start gumming things up, right? Then you have like the downside of the Primeval Titan build being weak to Blood Moon and what's the word? And then you have the downside of like drawing Archon and having it be clunkier to cast than Primeval Titan. If you're playing Prime Time, you want to play all 4. And you want that to be the only thing you're hitting. If you're playing Archon, I think you want that to be the only thing you're hitting. You want your deck to be consistent. You don't want to be sitting there like praying you hope to hit right one or whatever off creativity. It's one of the reasons I think the Angel plus Emrakul versions are bad. It's because you don't want to be sitting there. Like sometimes you have to play your creativity for 1, right? You have to just like cast it. And if you hit the wrong one, you just get to lose. I'd much rather just win than just lose, right? Exactly, red 7, yeah. Yeah, the versions that I like, at least on paper, are the 4 prime time and the 3 Archon. It's not a bad draw. I'm just gonna kill the construct and loot right now. If they play another, if they play Pure Steel Paladin, well, fuck. Actually, I guess if they play Pure Steel Paladin, the Shadow Spear is kind of rough. Let's kill the Shadow Spear. Let's kill the Shadow Spear and loot. We can chump this construct for a while. The reason to loot right now is if we draw into like Spreading Seas, we can just like Spreading Seas the fucking Ink Moth, and then we don't have to deal with that. But yeah, if they play a Pure Steel Paladin from their hand and then equip the Ink Moth will lose flying and I can block. This is actually tricky because Prismari Command could kill Ink Moth. But I think I just want to play the Moon and like answer this Ink Moth and like all future Ink Moths. The cool thing about the Prismari Command is I could give myself a treasure with it. And then I'd have 7 mana, so if I top decked another Archon, I would only need 1 more mana. You just have to like think which is more likely to matter. Actually, let's keep the Prismari Command and then just pass. Prismari Command might answer like Luris Plus, right? It might answer Luris Plus Construct or Luris Plus Ink Moth. I think that's better than Alpine Moon answering one thing. Are they on Luris? If you see a 1 here in the little heart, it means they got a companion. Not necessarily elevation. Discarding the Prismari Command could imply that we have creativity. Could mean that we hit. You know they have a companion? Oh, you know. Yeah, I misunderstood your question then, because your question was, are they on Luris, question mark? My bad. Could just kill 2 things. I think I want to keep chilling. Maybe even take some damage here. Correct, Mikey. Luris was the only companion they could have. I was being a bit sarcastic when I said my bad. I did not actually mean it. It was not an earnest apology. Caleb's so mean. I am. I'm the meanest. A mean bean. I'm just not rebuying Luris here. If the Luris can rebuy Pure Steel, they can't also rebuy an equipment that turn. So I kind of like killing the hammer, but killing the Inkmoth might be better. Yeah, let's kill the hammer. Remember that the third Archon got discarded earlier. So if we were going to play the creativity for 3 there, we would have targeted one of the opponent's things, like the Construct token or something. But I kind of like this, because now I have the mana to cast the Alpine Moon. And either Saga or Inkmoth, whichever we think is scarier here. I think it's actually the Inkmoth. Reason not to attack for 1. Eats the clock, I guess. One of those things where it's like technically better to attack first, but also doesn't super matter, I don't think. What type of jacket is this? I'm currently wearing a Twitch hoodie. And then I've got a St. Louis chess shirt on underneath it. No, Salty Ninja. Am I a chess fan? I think that's an accurate description of me, yeah. I was wondering for a second what happened to Luris, but I guess they must have discarded it, huh? And then the Sanctifier exiles it. I think they thought the Saga was getting its third trigger. I think they were trying to activate it before it actually got the ability to activate, and then they finally floated. I think that's what that was. Hairless Monk do indeed fuck. Archon is a lot like a 6-for-1 hum. The Edict, they discard, you draw a card, it drains them. And then you have a 6/6 flyer. Pretty ridiculous. So now that they've seen more of my deck, if they have a Hushbringer that's going to come in. Hushbringer, of course, is very killable. You can even answer it with the creativity if you can play for X large enough. I think this is the first match of the day that I've been left in Spreading Seas. Hey, thanks for the 62 months, engineer. What would I like to change about Modern? I would ban companions. I'm over them. It's been long enough. The format's sweet though. It's like not the end of the world that they're still around. As long as they get gone eventually. Yeah, that's very common in Stoner Rock SGX. Those fuzzy guitar tones. Emrakul is for mostly for mill, I imagine. I don't know, Trouble. I'm not a guitarist. I don't know how they get the fuzz effect. Different bands have different levels, so it's possible that different bands even do it in different ways, too. This hand seems okay. We could keep a hand like this and still just, like, fucking die on turn 3 or something. You think Modern is held together by duct tape and prayers? Is it? I don't think that's accurate at all. So we pass right now. We do lose to Double Hammer. What are the odds of them having Double Hammer, right? They did Mull on the play. I'm just gonna pass. You think Luris warps the meta, but not necessarily in a bad way? Yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of deck diversity, even with, like, Luris being in a ton of decks like, using Luris. My issue with Luris is that it can homogenize gameplay. It's not necessarily great that everyone's playing like main deck Graveyard Hate to like brick the first Luris, or like having to save a removal spell for like that last card that they get for free if you're playing a grindy deck. It's not the end of the world if only like a few archetypes had access to Luris, but when like every single deck is playing it, then all of a sudden it starts to become this new thing about the format, you know? I think I'm gonna dead that Smith. I think that's my plan here. Should I pierce that? I'm gonna pierce that. It could go really bad. I'm not gonna pierce that. I should have pierced that. Creature bigger than 2 mana. Yeah, right? Yeah, a lot of the threats in Modern that have just been seeing like infinite play, a lot of that is because you can play them with Luris, right? Hey, just aggressive, thinks the 29 months. Yeah, I was worried about piercing the Springleaf Drum and then them just like having a natural hammer and then having to like ice and like dying 2 turns later. I think I gotta play this Hard Evidence. Make sure I have a thing next turn. Is that what they tutored for? Plating? Interesting. They have Sigarda's Aid, so... Just interesting that they got plating. I don't think it matters if it's bait or not. I was just, the reason I was saying is interesting is like I think they just should have just gotten hammer the Aiden play already. Yeah, they just don't have a hammer at all. Wow. We're on ice because we're trying to hit that land drop for creativity. Yeah, I think this is the first game I've had an issue hitting lane number 4. But it certainly is an issue here, Alright, come on, Dak. I mean, that's not bad, huh? It's not bad at all. I actually wonder if I should have killed the cranial plating and looted. And then I hit a land, and then they go Luris, replay plating, and then I spell pierce plating and untap. Potentially get a larger creativity than if I command and make a treasure here. Good evening, Kyle Beckman. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to filing my taxes, that's for sure. Self-employed people are paying the payroll tax that the business would normally cover. So it ends up being a lot. Which is fine. Apparently I'm supposed to, like, file as an LLC, and the fact that I call myself an LLC ends up saving me money. Because the US tax code makes sense, I guess. So I'm gonna make a treasure token and kill this plating. And then if I draw land off the top, I'll be able to creativity for 2. And if I don't draw land off the top... companies over people? Yeah, apparently. Fucking apparently. It's crazy that hammer times blow 5 minutes on time here. Probably red 7. That's only like 3 months. Alright, come on, land. Come on, land. A creativity for 2 here is so much better. It's so much better than a creativity for 1. They could be replaying the Luris, and they're just not. Interesting. Trying to think of a reason for them to not play the Luris out there. How bad is his passing and holding up command again? Fatal push? Maybe. We need his creativity to clue, though. Yeah, I'm gonna give it another turn now that I drew command specifically. Play Rebuke off my Spreading Seas. I've seen versions playing Rebuke, but I think I don't think they go Esper. I think they just are straight blue-white. Path he's playing. I play Path sometimes. The instant speed nature of Path is at its most relevant in this matchup, actually. Now we get to see what those last two cards were in their hand. Kind of neat. And we're gaining 6 life, so even if they like discard a hammer or top deck a hammer or whatever. Oh, nice. Yeah, let's just kill this fucking Laris. Hey, we got lane number 4. Turn 7? Why not, huh? Why fucking not? Yeah, I guess I don't know why they didn't play Laris the other turn. It might have just been, they wanted to, like, bluff having something, or maybe they forgot. Who knows? Maybe they're worried about my untapped mana. Right, Escargot. We did get lucky against an opponent earlier who was whiffing on their land drops after they'd gone through like half their deck. Our blue-red opponent. So that's not bad. Okay, something I wanted to remember to do was monkey around with my version of the deck. I might play some number of remands, but I don't think I want 4. I did like it against blue-red. It was nice to have remand in the main deck against blue-red. But I liked the mana base. The mana base was perfect. I don't think Mill is played enough that I still need to have the Emrakul in the sideboard. Maybe 2 moons, 2 spreading seas versus 3 moons. Seas drawing a card is good. It looks weird. It looks weird to have a split. Oh shit, what up? Hey, Initial Zen, thanks for the 23 months there. Yeah, Modern Stream hype. So we're cutting a lot of the cantrips by going -2 remand, -4 spreading seas. But Expressive Iteration looks at a ton of cards too. Now what are we going to do with the rest of these sideboard slots? I could see playing a Dispel. That might just be like too much with the Mystical Disputes though. Does the deck want Fury? That's an interesting question. I have not read 7. Do you have a link? Yeah, the 2 Mandate Pierces were good. I could even see playing a 3rd Spell Pierce. Artifact Hate. I was thinking about playing a Shattering Spree. One or two of those. Hercules is interesting too. Oh yeah, Fury and Creativity. You get that Creativity more often. Or you get that Fury more often. Yeah, I can look at this Grabvine list in a little bit. I want to finish making my tweaks here. Yeah, I like having one more answer to Ragavan in the main. Expressive number 4 in the sideboard. I think that's what the Memory Deluge is doing right now. So in the 4-color version, I was only playing 3 Expressive Iteration in the main deck, because drawing multiples can be clunky against aggro specifically. Sometimes you just don't have time to resolve multiple Expressives against aggro. And then Expressive was still like my best card against control, so I was sideboarding the 4th copy. I think the Memory Deluge... The thing about the 4-color version is that it couldn't really play Memory Deluge, because it has blue mana. This deck's got like quad Steam Vents and a basic island, right? It just has a lot more blue mana. So I think Memory Deluge is specifically a better sideboard card. And I think Expressive Iteration is a better main deck card. Better than something like Memory Deluge or Jace, just because we can play it on turn 3 to like smooth out our draw. Hit those land drops, right? Whereas Memory Deluge and Jace come down on the same turn as like Transmogrify and Indomitable Creativity. So they don't really help set up those cards as well as Expressive does in the average matchup. There are no walkers that I want. No, this is good. The Shark Typhoons were good. They played out real pleasant. I think that's the only alternate win con that I want to have access to. The cool thing about Shark Typhoon is that it plays into the plan well too, right? And it gives you a token for creativity or what have you. I could almost see main decking them. They were real strong. Are there cards that help win a game post Blood Moon? I mean, we were very close to winning versus that Blood Moon anyway. Like, I think we lost that game, but only just. We were still like drawing live until the very end. Blood Moon doesn't stop you from casting Indomitable Creativity, and we have a basic island. So we're much stronger against Blood Moon than other versions. But I would say literally any other version of Creativity. Especially now that I'm adding a couple Striker Riches. Hey, Agent Mothman, thanks for the 56 months there. Appreciate you. So no Graveyard Hate? I'm not currently playing any Graveyard Hate. There were 3 Surgicals in the original list, and I didn't think they were great in the current meta. The 4-color version, you can play like a couple copies of Rest in Peace if you're playing 4-color or Jeskai, and I think that's a solid one. Because that bricks like all of Luris, or it kills like Tarmogoyf and Ren and 6, that sort of thing. It's like doing a lot of work, that Rest in Peace card, whereas Surgical is not. Surgical's kind of trash. It's good against like very specifically Reanimator and nothing else really, which I didn't think was enough. Interesting that Shark Typhoon's playable in Modern. Yeah, it's actually played in Legacy, too. It's a very strong card. I am having a great night, Mr. Monka. Thank you. You've like Anger the Gods recently? Interesting. The issue with Anger is that it kills my own crab, but maybe it's decent. I'll throw one in. Anger the Good. I like that it comes down the turn before we start making dwarves, huh? That's really cool. That's an interesting idea. I like that idea. Cool. I think the next time I play this deck, this is the version I'm gonna rock. And obviously this is untested, right? Like I haven't tried out the Strike of Riches in this build. I haven't tried the new sideboard and see if I like it, that sort of thing. Just another take on the archetype. Okay, what am I gonna do? I think what I'm going to do is take a quick break here and go get some water. God, it's fucking midnight. I think playing that Vengevine deck is a really good idea. That seems like exactly the sort of deck that I want to play. Yeah, maybe I'll even get a brewski, get some kind of alcoholic beverage. And then we can switch the tunes over. We can switch the tunes over to something a little bit more hype as we get into the wee hours of the night. Something to keep me awake here. Is there an award I can hand out when chat has good suggestions? I could give VIP, but that would kind of like decrease the exclusive. It would decrease the arbitrary exclusiveness of the VIP badge, so I don't want to do that. I guess there's nothing. You get my gratitude and my congratulations, and that should be enough. That should be like the reason that you're living and dying, right? To please me specifically. I am the main character of this stream. Alright, I'll be right back, folks. Low tier god? Oh no. Oh no.